Welcome to my podcast, boys. Today we have a special guest, I guess. It's called ApprovedCod. How you doing?
Uh, alright, I suppose. Oh.
How do you feel?
Quite random. Just got here, so a little nervous, but I'm ready.
Alright,
Give me a
we have 9 questions left.
Yeah.
What was it again? This is actually my first time doing this.
Yeah.
So there's 7 Napoleonic questions and 3 personnel questions. So if you're ready for this. So first of all,
Alright.
first question is, how long did you join the Napoleonic era, and when did you start, and what nation?
Let's see. It goes back quite a while, I think. If I'm correct. Three years ago I started, and I've been on it constantly, and colonial. But it started with, I think, one of my very young kind of, how do you put it, not so good groups.
Oh, okay. Well,
It all started off with some of the major British groups at the time, which was Link's British Army.
Oh god, I remember those.
Yeah, I was quite new back then, so I was still getting the hang of things. And what evolved from that point was I met an ensign who I happened to get along with at that point, and he basically invited me to a Denmark-Norway at the time, which was I enjoyed it quite a bit, and using a few little schemes and talking, got myself up to the rank of colonel eventually, which then I end up providing all the regiments for the group.
Okay.
Which counts to about 8 regiments fully made. But the thing is, remember, I wasn't the best back then, so I used to call them like heavy infantry regiment all over a thing. So
Alright, let's just move on. Okay.
yeah.
Number 3. What nation was the most comfortable and fun? Tell me the most memorable thing that you saw or experienced.
Ooh, that one was a great one actually. I was in what was it? Strive or Die's Army Royale. That was definitely my most favourite one. Definitely the most comfortable. Everyone was really welcoming. Although it lasted only a few weeks or so. As soon as I was in, everyone was welcoming, everyone laughed, and everyone got along, It wasn't too strict, but it was also quite strict, There was no pressure ever, and everything was just chill. We used to raid, have fun, get on at any time, but it slowly died out.
Strive is
yeah.
Strive is a good person though, so I don't mind that. If it's a group owned by Strive, yeah, I'm definitely joining it.
Yeah.
Alright.
A lot of respect for them.
Well, next question. What nation was the most powerful?
That's a good question. I think there's 2 you could say. I've been with Nikolai's quite a few before. He ran that successful Russia, which got to 200 members, so I was a colonel.
All by me.
Alright. I've been shifting to colonial a lot, if you count that, maybe.
Yeah, alright. Next question. What nation was the worst?
Oh,
Hold up.
Right.
Wait a sec. Just talk, alright?
Just talk right now. What, like this? Am I talking? Yeah? Alright. Fair enough. So my first nation was, let's see, going back.
There we go.
Oh yeah, it was a made-up fantasy nation, which was the worst, actually. It was called the Union of the North.
Oh, Jesus.
Basically what happened was, I searched up back in those days when What Up Musket was around, some free model Continental uniforms. Slang those around, and I got into development then, so I made up my own small free model mass terrain map, called it Lemon Iceland, and yeah, that's what happened. But then someone actually came over, and that's how I started up my dream colony of Georgia.
Well, that's wonderful. All right. Was was it called again? The Union of
the North.
Oh.
I still might have it actually.
No, fuck no.
Oh yes, let me find it. Here it is.
Oh god.
Oh wait, someone seems to have had it, but the Imperial Union of the North.
Oh jeez.
Someone seems to have taken the group, but just a rough idea of what I looked like back then.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh,
I know.
Oh, that's so 2016. Yeah, let's go.
And
Anyway, back to question.
Yeah.
Guess how many nation that you have been served.
I mean, what if you repeat a nation? Does that count?
What? Say that again.
What about repeated nations? So if someone did different rushes and all that.
No, just the most important shit, I guess.
All right. Quite a few, I would say. A lot of them being Nikolai's group. So yeah, Austria.
Yeah, I often see you in Nikolai's group. I was like, okay.
Yeah, all of those. I mean, I tend to get caught up, but I've kind of drifted away recently.
Alright, we're almost at the. This is going to be the final question of the Napoleonic genre question. Do you think that Napoleonic genre will be better in the future?
That's a good question, actually, because All right. I mean, that is a good question because right now it seems to be a bit off. I'm not seeing many successful nations at the moment, and there was a point where I feel like with the New Frontier, it was doing quite well. However, it started out, and people were just stuck making discords. There wasn't enough progression going on. Development took too long. So the future, it could be quite positive, but it's also quite uncertain. We've got new people making muskets. Some Hadric guy.
Yeah.
However, he's doing exams, so it's slowly down. Yep.
Oh.
So maybe a little bit screwed, but there's hope still.
All right, let's go for the personal question. A little bit more funny, like IRL stuff, I guess.
All right.
What was the most embarrassing thing that you did in IRL? Not in game, but in IRL life.
Well, because I have a pretty sad and plain life, that's kind of hard.
Sounds like me right there. Ooh.
Yeah. Just my life, will sum it up. I mean, stupid things wise, put my finger up a lantern when I was younger, but yeah, got a bit of skin off,
Why?
Hospital straight away, but I guess that might have filled it up, I guess, so much.
You were just a curious boy, what does this
Yep.
lantern do?
Yeah, basically. I was trying to go for that. I was in this mood where I was it's nighty time,
Oh.
I wanna, but it's in the middle of the day. I'm about to leave for holiday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright, number 9. What fruit is your favorite?
Banana or grape?
It feels so dirty when you said that. I was thinking about banana grape. I was like, what?
Banana grape. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Grape. Oh my gosh.
Black grapes. Oh, moving on.
Big black grape.
Alright, finally the last one. If Roblox died or didn't exist, what game would you play?
That's depressing.
How is that
The
depressing?
game. I don't know. I play Life, I suppose. There are plenty of games. I mean, I'd start playing loads of Empire Total War, Napoleonic Total War, and GW3 to be more precise. And I'd quit life as a whole,
Oh. Well, thank you for joining my short podcast. Podcast.
Alright, so how much are getting paid?
We're not getting paid. To end this off, I'm gonna put this sound effect. Hold up, you might remember this. Hold up.
Alright.
Hold up.
Oh my
god. See ya.
Yeah.
Oh, that was memorable. Fuck.